The crowd here in Philadelphia going wild as Donovan McNabb and the Eagles get ready for the latest installment of their longtime rivalry. It's the 8-1 Eagles getting set to host the 3-6 Washington Redskins. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. Kenny Albert along with Brian Baldinger. Eagles off to their best start in over 40 years. Eagles and their fans will look back at March 16th, perhaps, as the most important date of this season. And that was the day, Brian, they acquired Terrell Owens.
It should be a holiday in Philadelphia, and he should be the reason why. And really, McNabb and T.O., their relationship goes back 4 years now at the Pro Bowl. And McNabb realized that you learn a lot about a player at work. And he saw the work ethic of Terrell Owens over there in Hawaii, trying to win football games. And that spirit, that tenacity, that work ethic has carried over to this entire team, to the whole city. It's made Andy Reid a better play caller. It's made McNabb a better quarterback. It's made this team believe that they can go all the way this year.
And the Eagles today face the Washington Redskins, who brought back Joe Gibbs as head coach in January. Gibbs went out and signed Mark Brunell, but after 9 games, Brunell is out at quarterback. Patrick Ramsey is in.
Yeah, and Joe Gibbs said that it was a gut feeling to change quarterbacks last week, and really, it was lack of productivity that made him make the change. The Redskins hadn't scored more than 18 points in a game this year, and that's a shame because the defense has played winning football all year. But it's really not about Ramsey today. It's about Clinton Portis. The Redskins want to run the ball. They want to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, and that's what they're going to lean on heavily today. For the Eagles, they made a change at quarterback this week as well. Last week, Jeremiah Trotter made his first start for an Eagle since he left Philadelphia. He gave them a spark. He shut down the run against Dallas. But this is a much better running game this week. We'll see if Jeremiah can again spark the defense here today.
All right, Brian, there is still time to check how your fantasy football team is doing this week. Text message 63504 on your singular wireless phone, or log on to foxsports.com.
You're talking about bring them out right now. Bring them out, because we out. We out, we doing something. Bring them out. Bring them out. Ah.
The Freak is ready. As we check out early scores, Ravens now 7-3 following their victory over the slumping Cowboys. Tampa Bay all over the 49ers. Carolina leading Arizona late. Vikings in come-from-behind fashion defeat the Lions. And Buffalo all over St. Louis.
How about Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh? The story just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Of course, up the turnpike today, Eli Manning gets his first start at the Meadowlands for the Giants against the Falcons.
And 4 touchdown passes for Eli Manning's brother, Peyton.
35 on the year and chasing Dan Marino's at one time seemingly invincible record of 48 touchdowns in a season.
Ladell Betts on the return for the Redskins and takes it out to the 22-yard line. 20-yard return. Roderick Hood with the tackle on special teams. So Patrick Ramsey makes his first start this season, his 17th NFL start, his first in nearly a full year.
Well, his last start was right here against the Eagles.
The men protecting Ramsey. Corey Raymer in the middle. Chris Samuels has gone to a pair of Pro Bowls. Portis in the backfield. And this is Clinton Portis, and he loses 3 yards on first down to Honey Jones. Makes the tackle in the backfield for the Eagles' 23rd ranked defense. The men up front, Burgess, Walker, Simon, and Kearse, who has 6 sacks. Trotter in the middle. Reese starting for the injured Nate Wayne. Lito Shepard leading the NFC with 4 interceptions. 2nd down and 14. Portis looking to turn the corner, and he is taken down. Hit for a loss again. This time it's the right corner, Sheldon Brown.
This is Ramsey's 3rd action this year. First start, you know, he came in against the Giants. He was losing 20-7. Last week he came in the second quarter. They were down 17-0. Joe Gibbs thought that, you know what, he deserves a chance to play 0-0. But already the Eagles have him in a tough spot. Don't expect the Redskins to get too aggressive this part of the field.
So Portis losing 4 yards on each of his first 2 carries today. Ramsey to the air for the first time, and the pass off the fingertips of Rod Gardner, but there is a flag. Walt Anderson, our referee today.
Well, the quarterback was still in the pocket and before the pass was thrown. Holding, number 26, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Also a mistake on Lito Shepherd, the left corner here, going up against Rod Gardner. On the outside, Gardner's just running a slant. You see, he got a little, that grab of the jersey. It's minute. The fans don't like it, but that's what they were emphasizing this year. It wasn't necessary.
And it gives the Redskins an automatic first down after they faced a 3rd down and 18 on their opening drive.
Well, instead of knocking the Redskins out right there and getting the ball in good field position, they give the Redskins life.
From the 19, it's Portis. Gains positive yardage for the first time. Gain of 2, Reese and Trotter on the tackle.
You know, a couple different things for this Redskin. I mean, Ramsey is a right-handed quarterback. Brunell was a left-handed quarterback. So the whole offense was geared going left. The Eagles getting ready for the Redskins today. They got to get used to a right-handed quarterback again. The offense will shift and change a little bit. Ramsey has a stronger arm than Brunell, and he should be able to make a lot better throws than Brunell has been able to make this year.
2nd down and 8 from the 21. Redskins keep it on the ground with Portis. Picks up the first down out across the 30 to the 31-yard line before he's finally taken down by Michael Lewis. Gain of 10 yards for Clinton Portis.
The weakness of this Eagle defense this year, last year, the year before, has been right in the middle. So here's Jeremiah Trotter right here. He misses and overruns this ball right here. Portis cuts right behind him. What you'll see Trotter do today, see he overran that play? He cut behind him. That's what they want the Eagles to do, to go one way and cut back behind him.
Portis, the workhorse, leads the NFL in carries so far this season. And this is Portis' 5th carry of this drive, and he gains just 1 up to the 32-yard line, setting up a 2nd down and long.
Clinton Portis came from Denver, where he had 29 touchdowns, 3,000 yards in 2 years. He was the hottest running back in the NFL. But his scheme in Denver was a stretch scheme. Stretch the defense, cut behind him. They don't do that here in Washington, and that's one of the reasons why he struggled.
Play action. Ramsey rolling right, and the pass is caught by Chris Cooley. And the rookie fullback picks up the first down all the way out to the 46-yard line, a gain of 13.
Ramsey said that when he's in a huddle, he's actually eerily quiet. You know, he's so calm, he says, and right here he kind of demonstrates that. Cooley's the one looked like he was a little frustrated by the ball right in his hands. That bootleg used to go left with Brunell because he was a left-handed quarterback. Their bootlegs will go to the right today, so the Eagles have to anticipate that.
This drive kept alive by that penalty called on Lito Shepherd on 3rd down and 18 from the 45. Gardner broke free and picks up another Redskins first down in Eagles territory as Rod Gardner gains 11.
So early in this drive, the Eagle corners of Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown both guilty of mistakes. On that hitch route, you have to come under control. You have to make the tackle right there because the inside pursuit isn't getting there fast enough. Want to try to get the ball in these wide receivers' hands early because they are big and they can make people miss.
From the Eagles 45, the pitch to Liddell Betts. And Betts may have had his face mask grabbed as he gained 5 yards down to the Eagles 40.
Well, that's going to be the flagrant variety. You can just tell by the way that he was just pulled down, the 15-yard variety.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask, number 58, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So 2 huge penalties called on the Eagles defense during this drive.
Yeah, and both of them result in first downs. Here's Ike Reese right here. And the reason why you grab is because you're not in position. You're not there where you need to be. And so you reach and you grab it. Same thing for holding, face mask. Same thing on the hold, on the grab by Lito Sheppard early in the series.
Ike Reese, the 7-year veteran, making only his 5th career start. Automatic first down from the Eagles' 25. Liddell Betts in the backfield. Betts takes it up the gut and gains 3 down to the Eagles' 22, setting up 2nd down and 7.
You know, one of the things that the Eagles have had to fight all week is that hangover that happens. Playing a game on Monday night, putting up a half 100 against the Cowboys, your division rival, and all that kind of stuff. Coming back at 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. We watched them in practice on Friday. They were dropping passes. They were lethargic. And Andy Reid agreed. He did think that they practiced well. Now, how you don't play sharp in this type of atmosphere, you'd have to wonder.
From the 22, this is Portis. Portis down to the 18-yard line, gain of 4. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Okay, an interesting stat in the first 9 weeks of the season. Teams that won on Monday night were 2-7 the following week. Only 2 teams have won after winning on Monday night, the Eagles being one of them. Andy Reid, of course, a winning record after Monday night.
3rd down and 3 for the Redskins. They have to get to the Eagles' 15. The toss to Betts, and Betts stopped about 3 yards shy of the marker. And the Redskins, Joe Gibbs, elects to send out the field goal unit.
It's too far. I mean, it's well over a yard, almost 2 yards short. I think that at this point you try and get automatic points as much as you can. There's Ola Kimmerin out here. You know, they have injuries all over the place in this Redskin team, one of them being their kicker, Joe Hall. John Hall out right now, still trying to come back from a muscle injury.
There's a 35-yard attempt by Kimmerin. It is good. So the Redskins take advantage of 2 Eagle penalties. And the Redskins strike first on the 35-yard field goal by Ola Kimmerin.
You know, I live in this area, and all anybody talked about here in Philadelphia in the offseason was the loss of Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent, and how in the world they were ever going to replace those guys. I mean, look what Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent have done this year. Not much. Bobby Taylor doesn't start in Seattle. Troy Vincent injured right now, trying to make the move to safety. Only 3 starts. They haven't missed those guys. And really, Lito Sheppard and Sheldon Brown have answered the call. They've been very good in the run game. But on the first series, mistakes from both those guys led to Redskin points. I mean, on the big 3rd down play, 3rd play of the game, Lito Sheppard with the hold on Rod Gardner. Not even necessary to grab that jersey in that situation. He was going to get the 1st down anyways. I think, you know, Andy Reid's job here today is to make sure this team is ready to play all week long, making sure this team is ready. He took them out of pads this week. They practiced distant shells. They a little lighter, a little shorter practices. But mentally is where teams get bothered after a long Monday night game, a big win, and the emotional letdown that sometimes happens.
Kimmerin's kickoff taken by Rod Hood. And Hood brings it out to the 33-yard line. Former Eagle James Thrash brought him down after the return of 26 yards. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Buffalo Bills and the St. Louis Rams. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger here in Philadelphia. Redskins a 35-yard field goal on their opening drive. Now the Eagles go to work, starting from their own 33. Brian Westbrook turns the corner. Penalty markers, 2 flags, as Westbrook picked up 12 and an Eagles 1st down.
Andy Westbrook coming back from a rib injury Looked pretty good in that run. Andy Reid thought he went down too easy on Monday night.
Number 87, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
That's the third Eagles penalty. It's against the wide receiver, Todd Pinkston.
Yeah, you know, and it's the third grab, too. And that's just what you do. You grab and hold when you're not in position. Todd Pinkston has to move his feet there to body up Fred Smoot. Really, there's no reason to hold Fred Smoot. He's not a good tackler to begin with. Brian Westbrook is either going to run through him or around him.
First and 18 following the penalty. 3 wide receivers set. McNabb in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 19-yard line, a loss of 5. Brandon Noble along with Joe Salavea combining on the sack of McNabb, who passed for 345 yards in Dallas on Monday night. Thomas, Hicks, Fraley, Mayberry, and Runyon up front. Westbrook in the backfield, Owens and Pinkston the wideouts, and the tight end is Chad Lewis.
T.O. all alone at the bottom of the screen going up against Sean Springs, now in motion, trying to move him around.
Second and 23 following the penalty and the sack. McNabb takes off, has running room, and he slides up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 19 for Donovan McNabb.
Well, that's the X factor, is McNabb and what he can do with his running skills right here. Probably still the best running back on the football team. You see that if they want to go man-to-man here and these guys are turning their back, it's going to create big lanes for McNabb down the field. McNabb will run today based on coverage. They get locked up in man-to-man on Terrell Owens and Todd Pinkston, and he sees white jerseys with their helmets turned away from him. Look for him to run today.
He has not run as much this season, only 120 yards on the ground coming into the game today. On 3rd and 4, McNabb calls timeout with the Redskins leading 3-0. We check in for the first time with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Kenny and Brian, blistering pace by Peyton Manning continues. Hooking up here with Reggie Wayne, one of 2 touchdown catches by Wayne. 4 touchdowns on a day for Manning. He's got 35 on the season in the victory over Chicago. Vic with time, patience, drilling a bullet to Algie Crumpler. Atlanta on top of the Giants, 7-0. Back to Kenny Albert and Brian Baldinger.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Philadelphia Eagles on their first possession today. Redskins getting a 35-yard field goal from Ola Kimrin on their opening drive. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger coming to you from Philadelphia. 3rd down and 4 after the 19-yard scramble by McNabb.
Couple are coming, a couple are dropping out.
McNabb complete. Westbrook first down into Redskins territory, out of bounds at the Washington 49 after a gain of 12.
Well, the Redskins are going to put a lot of people in the line of scrimmage today, and you got to kind of guess which ones are coming. These guys are dropping out, they're bluffing. McNabb doesn't panic, the protection holds up here. A couple crossing routes. Really, Westbrook already showing kind of return to form of quickness already in this game, turning the corner and breaking tackles. And when you come back from a rib injury, it's a painful injury, and it takes a while to kind of get your wind back and your breath, and it looks like it's returned.
From the Redskins 49. McNabb does a good job not crossing the line of scrimmage, and the pass a bit low, intended for Owens. Redskins with the 2nd-ranked defense coming into the game today. Only the Steelers have allowed fewer yards per game than Washington. Missing Cornelius Griffin, who leads the Redskins with 4 sacks, replaced today by Jermaine Haley. Also without a couple of linebackers, LeVar Arrington and Michael Barrow. So a number of replacements on defense getting the job done for Washington. Smoot and Springs, terrific season at quarterback for coordinator Greg Williams. From the 49 of Washington, another big hole for Westbrook, and he is close to a first down, a gain of 9.
Andy Reid thought that Westbrook, the problem he had Monday night, he had a good game all around with total purpose yards, but he thought he went down too easy. Today, he looks sharp. He's sticking his head in there, he's bouncing off defenders, and he's running low. He's running behind his pads here, and with a good skip, and that's a huge hole right there, but that's a good burst right in there. You mentioned the Redskins, Kenny. They have been decimated by injuries. They got backups taking roles of backups right now. Defensive lineman LeVar Arrington, Bowles, Mike Barrow, Cornelius Griffin, Philip Daniels. I mean, one starter after another has gone down, yet Greg Williams has done a good job of keeping these guys fighting every week.
Eagles just short. So it will be third down and less than a yard.
Well, the Redskins have been good on third and short this year. The Eagles haven't been particularly good. And here's a couple of stats for the Redskins this year. I mean, they just lost their #1 ranking defensively in yards allowed last week. They want that #1 ranking.
They allow only 16.5 points per game, which is third in the league.
Andy Reid in this situation, less than a yard, almost a foot, likes the quarterback sneak McNabb. The Redskins will overplay it right in the middle here.
Dorsey Levens in the backfield, Owens in motion, and this is Levens, and he picks up the first.
Dorsey Levens looked good last week on Monday night. I mean, he looked like he found the fountain of youth. Injuries are healed up. It takes 30 seconds just to unravel that pile there. But Dorsey Levens has become their short yardage back, goal line back, and look at him. He's still got great size. And the thing is, his entire career outside of 1 year with the Giants is spent in this offense. So he knows this offense forwards and backwards. Knew Andy Reid, of course, at Green Bay. Really wasn't, Green Bay didn't win a championship until Dorsey Levens became the focal point of that running game.
Westbrook back in. And Westbrook picks up another first down and more. Finally tackled at the 17-yard line by Sean Taylor. A gain of 21 yards for Brian Westbrook.
Well, as Westbrook picks out the clod out of his helmet, you got to give credit here to the offensive line and what they do up front. Watch him. Artis Hicks, the left guard, gets pulling here. Nice job by Artis Hicks right here. Knockdown block right there. And Artis Hicks, an undrafted free agent a couple of years ago, is becoming a dominant player for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And he just leveled Ryan Clark.
Yeah, I mean, you like that matchup now. You like 320 pounds on 195-pound safety.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weight advantages. It's just simple WWF mechanics. Here we go, put a clock on it.
Is this Monday night?
Yeah.
Again?
He's trying to get 14 seconds.
I don't think he got up to 14 that time.
He said something amazing to us Friday when we visited him about that play, that 14 seconds. He recounted the whole play, second by second. He said he could see everybody in the secondary. He remembers Lynn Scott coming down, remembers T.O. getting knocked off his feet. He said he could see everything. And you think that when you're running like that and you're just running for your life, that it would become a blur. And he said none of it was a blur. It was clear all the way, like it was in HD.
They said it looked like a video game.
Yeah.
2nd and 7 from the 14. Westbrook gains a yard. Brian Westbrook, a Redskins fan, as a youngster growing up in Maryland. In fact, he was a point guard for the Matha High School in Washington.
Oh, famous program.
Morgan Wooten, the head coach.
Well, this Redskin defense has been blistered 2 of the last 3 weeks early in the game. Last week by Cincinnati, a couple weeks ago by Cincinnati, and then they kind of regrouped. They charted some things differently. They made some changes, and they stiffened up. Right now, Philadelphia kind of taking it to them, but this has happened to this defense the last few weeks. They're beginning to wear down.
11th play of the drive for the Eagles. 3rd down and 6. McNabb takes off, and he's tackled just shy of the 7, close to the first down marker.
Sean Taylor, the rookie out of Miami, tried to take McNabb's head off. I don't know if he's all right either. And I think he's kind of shook up by this hit. It's a clothesline here. Never got the face guard. McNabb thinks it's a first down, but I don't think the ball crossed that line.
We saw a similar tackle from Taylor last week, and the Redskins lost to the Bengals.
Oh yeah, now he is a huge hitter. Well, the ball, it was a pretty good spot that time.
Eagles awarded with the first down. Levens tucks it back inside and takes it all the way down to the 1.
So the offensive line is coming off the football right now. Watch Hank Fraley, the center here, try to finish this football play. Try to get Levens into, watch Fraley come through here. Double teamed right there at the point. Fraley never stops moving. Now watch this. Linemen want to score 2 now. Here comes Fraley over the top, getting a shot on Ryan Clark in the end zone.
Brian, the Eagles have been a quick strike offense this year. However, this will be the 13th play of this drive.
Well, they've been a big play offense. They haven't necessarily sustained offense very well like this year.
2nd and goal from the 2. McNabb to the end zone. Touchdown, Chad Lewis, who has caught more touchdowns from Donovan McNabb than anybody during McNabb's career with the Eagles.
The toughest play in football is a goal line pass because the defense has to make a decision to play run or pass immediately. You have to honor the run. And they did. They were still well covered. They still got Antonio Pierce out there. But that was a beautiful throw by McNabb with touch, and he dropped it right out of the sky into Lewis's hands.
2nd touchdown this season for Lewis. David Akers adds the extra point. A 13-play, 67-yard drive. One of the key plays, the 19-yard run by McNabb. Back in Philadelphia, both teams have scored on their opening drives. A field goal for the Redskins, a touchdown for the Eagles.
Well, I think all year the Eagles have responded to adversity. You know, you lose to Pittsburgh and you stink it up there in the Steel City, and you come right back and you punch Dallas in the mouth and you knock out your Division East divisional foe, and then, you know, Washington comes down and scores the opening drive. You come right back and answer. And without T.O. getting involved.
Akers kickoff taken at the 1 by Liddell Betts. And Betts brings it out to the 27. Redskins back at offense late first quarter when we come back.
On the Eagles' opening drive there to score, they were 3 for 3 on 3rd down, and they got a good spot in the last 3rd down. McNabb in the circle there. Gets clotheslined here by Sean Taylor. His feet crossed that yellow line, but the ball clearly never crosses the line. In fact, the ball's back at the 8. They got about a yard good spot there to keep that drive going.
And now penalty markers on 1st down.
It was a big break for the Eagles there.
For the snap, ball start, number 88, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Robert Royal, the tight end, and then after that favorable spot for the Eagles, they scored their touchdown just 2 plays later.
Yeah, got Dorsey Levens, you know, with a good run down to the 2, and then the touchdown throw to Chad Lewis. McNabb's high for rushing this year is 36 yards. He got 28 on that drive to keep a couple drives alive.
1st down and 15. And the give to Portis, and he is tackled in the backfield again, this time by Jeremiah Trotter, a loss of 1 on the play.
Well, look what the Eagles do here, scheme-wise. I mean, right now, you look at this and you say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys right there in the box. They only had 7 blockers. So Trotter, when they get 8 guys up like that, is blitzing every play. He's either hitting the center or hitting the gap between the center and the guard.
That will do it for the first quarter. Eagles leading 7-3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local station. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger back in Philadelphia. 2nd and 16 for the Redskins from their own 21. James Thrash in motion. Ramsey gets rid of it quickly. Lavernius Coles. And Coles takes it all the way out across the 35-yard line. Stopped about a yard and a half shy of the marker after gaining 15.
Well, that was a good safe pass that time by Patrick Ramsey. You know, he got the ball into the hands of their #1 receiver, their playmaker. I mean, this is, you know, just a little hitch right here. Basically, all the Redskins complete right now is hitches and ins. They really haven't stretched the field this year, well, because the protection has been so uncertain from play to play.
Ramsey has completed his first 3 pass attempts today. 3rd down and 1. Portis looks to have the first down.
This is a big battle today. The Redskin offensive line, who's been inconsistent this year. You know, when the Redskins run the ball well, when Portis runs for 147 yards or more, they win. And when he runs for 70-something or less, they lose. And really, when you can run the ball like that, they control it. They control the tempo of the game. You know, you keep the Eagles' offense off. That's what they're trying to do here today. And the Eagles' defense has struggled. In fact, they've got their backup defensive tackles in there right now, Hollis Thomas and Sam Rayburn, and these are better players, the Eagles think, than their starters, Corey Simon, along with Darwin Walker.
Rayburn already has 5 sacks this year. Penalty flag.
Before the ball was snapped, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, as Patrick Ramsey tries to overcome another penalty here for the Redskins, you know, the Eagles are ready to make a change here at defensive tackle because they just think that Corey Simon has gotten fat and out of shape, and Darwin Walker has been lethargic. And so those two guys are getting more reps right now, and Andy Reid doesn't know how else to send a message to his starting tackles than to play backups. And those guys, Hollis Thomas and Sam Rayburn, either one of them drafted, both of them playing better.
Corey Simon coming off a Pro Bowl season. Portis on 1st and 15 gains 5 back to the original line of scrimmage.
That's right where the Redskins are attacking right now. So this Clint Portis, when he'll hit a hole and there'll be nothing there and he'll just stick it in there. He'll stick it in there. He's a patient guy, but I tell you, that hole opens up. This guy has a burst now that can go to the house. It hasn't happened that much this year. First play of the game against Tampa, but he has home run ability.
His first carry as a Redskin went for 64 yards in that Tampa Bay game. Only has 1 other touchdown. Setting up the screen and taken down back at the 33-yard line for a loss of 4 was Portis.
Well, Kearse forced this pass earlier than Ramsey wanted to throw it. Here he is coming upfield. And then watch him chase. Hollis Thomas does a good job right here of slowing him down, and the freak just kept coming. And the biggest plus for Javon Kearse this year is he's been healthy. Started every game for him this year, and this is when he's a factor on 3rd down and long.
On 3rd and 14, pass to the outside. Thrash, who led the Eagles in receiving 2 of the last 3 years, but he picks up only 4, and the Redskins will have to punt.
I said that the Redskins passing game is about hitches and ends. Nothing vertical down the field, and when it's 3rd and 14, you got to take a shot down the field. You're 3 and 6, you got your backup quarterback in there. Stay aggressive. Give him a chance to go make a play.
Your backup quarterback who has a strong arm.
Yeah, take advantage of his strength. The Eagles are running everybody up. They've got nobody deep right here. No returner. They thought it was going to be a fake. Watch this.
And it is down at the 1 by Thrash, who's done a tremendous job on special teams. 2 weeks ago, he was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. A 61-yard punt, a season long for Tupa.
I tell you, the Eagles made a mistake here on this last special. That's Westbrook, who's their deep returner. They both came up thinking it was to be a fake, and the result is very bad field position here for the Eagles.
Eagles start from their own 1 as Levins takes it out across the 5-yard line out to the 6.
Yeah, I mean, there's Roderick Hood, there's Dexter Wynn, the other returner. They both come up. And they didn't have a fake on. Look at them. They're all kind of confused, turning around and looking as to, I think one of them was supposed to stay back. Either Wynn or Westbrook was supposed to stay back, and they both came up. So miscommunication was the result there of the Eagles getting that kind of field position.
It allowed Thrash to down the ball at the 1. Keep in mind the Eagles' longest drive this season, 88 yards. L.J. Smith picks up the first down out to the 17. McNabb has still not completed a pass today to a wide receiver. Tight ends have 2 receptions, Westbrook with the other.
Well, the Redskins have a game plan for Terrell Owens today. I mean, they're going to see Fred Smoot. He's going to see Sean Springs. He's going to see combination zones. And then sometimes Greg Williams said, you know, because of the way we're going to blitz McNabb, Terrell Owens is going to be one-on-one. This time he's in the slot.
McNabb with time on first down, incomplete, intended for Pinkston.
That time, McNabb dropped back and wanted to get the ball to Owens, who was in the right slot, and they double-teamed him well. T.O. was looking at it on the scoreboard up there, watching how they sandwiched him.
Owens' numbers Monday night in Dallas. Now has 12 touchdowns this season. Second and 10 from the 17. Levitz takes it out to the 19, gain of 2. Marcus Washington made the tackle. Third down and 8 coming up.
Well, I'll tell you, Greg Williams, he met with us last night in our production meeting, and he was pumped about this assignment today. He's the defensive coordinator for Washington. He told us a lot of things. He said that the Eagles were the best team in the league at stealing signals, you know, and using signals, not just getting the information. I mean, he put the hot lights under James Thrash and Tim Hasselback, former Eagles, about what the Eagles do in situations. And then they try to use that information, incorporate it in his game plan.
From the shotgun on third down and 8. McNabb airing it out, and the catch is made by Todd Pinkston at the 35-yard line after Smoot fell down. Sean Taylor made the tackle, a 46-yard pass play.
Boy, I tell you, McNabb put a lot of air under that ball. I think it was helium because the thing floated up there. This is just straight speed here. One-on-one, no moves. Smoot sees it. He's running on the inside hip, and that's fair game. I mean, that's just incidental contact right there. Smoot tripped, and Sean Taylor was too late getting over the top. Anybody that thinks this is just a Terrell Owens run offense, they're not seeing that today. McNabb finding other options as they take Owens away.
Play action. McNabb to the end zone, intended for Brian Westbrook.
That time they went deep, and I tell you, the one thing that Terrell Owens has done to Andy Reid, the play caller, is it's allowed Andy to be a lot more aggressive. Anybody following the Eagles this year for the first 9 games knows they've never gone deep this much. This is a big play offense. And look, there's just sometimes you can't double team Terrell Owens. I mean, what you're trying to do defensively, the way they're moving Owens around right now, you get single coverage you have to look at.
And in reference to McNabb, Owens told us I needed someone to take my talents to the next level.
There he is in motion.
From the 35, over the middle, he was looking for Owens.
And he had him too. It's the first time today where he had him one-on-one. The thing about Terrell Owens, Kenny, is, you know, this is his 9th year in the same offense. He's got a linebacker on him here. It's exactly what they wanted. Lamar Marshall here on Owens. They got the 101. McNabb threw it high. But this is Owens' 9th year. He has been running this offense in his sleep, in the offseason, in the Pro Bowl, in his dreams, in playoff games. There's nothing about it he doesn't know, and he knows how to get open no matter what you try to do defensively to him.
Penalty markers on third down. They played in the same offense for 8 years out in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Before the snap, false start, number 84, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, this is McNabb's ritual before a game. He goes through the entire, well, first of all, he gets a little shot suit from Terrell Owens, loosen him up. Then he goes through the whole passing tree.
Just me and you. Getting
Every single route that they're going to run. And what Owens said is he's just not running routes to run routes here. He's envisioning the defense. It's that psycho-cybernetics thing. He's imagining Sean Springs on him, Fred Smoot on him, certain situations, third down. And so mentally, he's playing the game an hour before kickoff.
Here's McNabb on 3rd down and 15. Taken down from behind. He lost the football. Jermaine Haley with a big hit on McNabb at the 39-yard line, and the Redskins have recovered.
Sometimes you can just try to do too much. And give the credit to the Redskins. They never stop chasing, never stop hustling. And this has been the personality of the Redskins defense all year. Well, I'll tell you, McNabb has done a great job of taking care of the football this year. This is only the Eagles' 8th turnover all year. They came in today tied with Detroit, lowest in the league. But the Redskins continue to create turnovers. They just keep hustling and staying after it.
From the 39, Portis, gain of 2. Tackled by the former Redskin, Jeremiah Trotter.
Well, here's the in-sync here. I mean, McNabb holds this ball for about 12 seconds on this play. This is a 2-receiver route, Pinkston and Owens. Pinkston there, covered. Guy you got Pierce in front of him. We got a safety behind him. I tell you, the Redskin defenders must have been working on plastering receivers, and McNabb holding the ball that long. That's the hardest thing in football for a defensive back to do, to be able to keep your coverage and stay close to a receiver.
You think the 14-second play on Monday gave him the confidence to think he could do it any time?
Yeah, and he's done it again earlier today like that.
Pass caught by Gardner out to the 46. Gain of 5, 3rd down and 3. But first, a game break. We send you to Hollywood and James Brown.
Hey, Kenny, it may be the start of the Eli Manning era in New York, but it's been Michael Vick so far. This little touchdown toss to Algie Crumpler. Crumpler's second of the day. Vick 8 of 10, 77 yards passing, 7 rushes for 72 yards rushing. 14-0 Atlanta. Back to Kenny and Brian.
I tell you, Vick is getting good. I mean, he just keeps showing signs of improvement every week, and exciting to watch.
On 3rd and 3, the fake toss, and now flags.
Before the snap, false start, number 45, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's Mike Sellers.
Well, he's got Curse in front of him, and Curse sees him. Curse sees him, moves, points it out. These little chippy penalties are killing the Redskins. You haven't seen the Redskins throw the ball down the field yet. I mean, everything is to the sidelines. Ramsey perfect, 6 for 6. Only 45 yards there. I don't think you can throw the ball to the sidelines here. I think you got to take a shot down the field. Try to pick up the 1st down.
Facing a 3rd down and 8. Redskins have to get to midfield. Ramsey looking for Coles, incomplete.
Well, you got what they wanted. They got their best receiver, Lavernius Coles, against the Eagles' 3rd corner, Roderick Hood. You get an experience factor, but watch the protection here from the Redskins. Pretty good up the top. The Eagles blitz to the left side. Pretty good protection. Thrash slipped. He would have been open, too. That's exactly what they want to do. I mean, Patrick Ramsey, 3rd down. I'd like to think that you can complete that one.
Tupa's second punt. It's a good one. Dexter Wynn lets it go. Did it stay out of the end zone?
Nope, touchback. Must have hit the white stripe. Tupa's like, can't you give me one there? I don't think he... Try to put a little backspin on it, like Tiger nailing it on the green.
59-yard punt. They'll start at the 20.
Not a lot of calls have gone Joe Gibbs's way here in his return to coaching. I think that last one, watch this right here. Tupa's punt hits. Does it actually hit the line here and then bounce back in? Very close to call and a challengeable call.
Eagles start from their own 20. And Westbrook is hit for a loss. First by Antonio Pierce.
James Thrash right here. That ball is inbounds there. Thrash's feet are inbounds in the field of play. Right there, that's a save. Now, whether the ball actually hit the line before that, it's hard to tell from every angle.
On the first angle that we had to look at it,
yeah, that right there is good.
It may have on that initial bounce.
Yes. That's what we don't have a good enough angle, declarative angle to show them.
Second down and 12 from the 18. McNabb to Pinkston. Pinkston out of bounds at the 22, a gain of 4. Setting up third down and 8.
I tell you, McNabb has seen the field well today, and the Redskins are doing a good job of taking T.O. away. Now this time for Sean Springs. Watch Sean Springs right here. So he gets a jam on T.O., doesn't let him off the line of scrimmage. Clean. McNabb took a peek over there and then turned away from him. You don't have to cover him a long time. You just have to cover him when the quarterback's looking at you.
Owens without a catch today. 55 receptions on the year for 884 yards in only 9 games. McNabb, a pump fake on 3rd and 8. He takes off and is stopped 2 yards shy of a first down.
Redskins defense, since that opening drive where they got some help, you know, with some penalties, has really come back. They're taking the reads away from McNabb right now. They're hitting him. They're knocking the ball out. And look, McNabb looks frustrated at this point.
Both Greg Williams and Greg Blosh have done such a terrific job with the Washington defense. Williams, the head coach in Buffalo last year, Blosh, the coordinator in Chicago. And for a 3-6 team, as the fair catch is called for by Thrash, for a 3-6 team to have the second-ranked defense, terrific job by the coaches. Terrell Owens without a catch today. His Eagles lead the Redskins 7-3. Redskins start from their own 31-yard line. Just under 4 minutes to go, first half. Portis turns the corner and is forced out of bounds after a gain of 3. Well, this Thursday, spend your Thanksgiving with an NFL tradition on Fox as the Chicago Bears head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. It all starts at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific with the pregame show as Jerry Jones goes 10 yards with TV. Plus catch a special halftime performance from Destiny's Child only on Fox. Bears and Cowboys this Thursday.
My favorite holiday. Eating and football. Turkey and football. Great combination.
Second down and 7. Here's Portis. Now, how many Thanksgiving Day games did you play in?
I played in a bunch in Dallas. Played in 6 of them. A great way to celebrate the weekend. Play some football, go home and eat some turkey, and have like 3 days off of them towards the end of the season. I tell you, T.O. has seen some great defenses the last month. I mean, he's seen the Ravens, he's seen the Steelers, and he's seen the Redskins. He's been able to find ways to penetrate both those teams. Right now, I think this Redskins team is frustrating him as much as any of them.
Third down and 6. Redskins have to get to the 41 for a first down. Ramsey to Liddell Betts, and he has the first. Out of bounds at the 43, a gain of 8.
Good protection that time. Had 6-man protection, only 4 guys rushed. Gave Ramsey some time and hit Liddell Betts right in stride. Nice job. I mean, one thing Patrick Ramsey is guilty of is staring down a receiver. He did that to Betts that time, but at least he got it in the right position.
The right guard, Randy Thomas, is shaken up. We'll be back.
Here's the injury to the right guard, Randy Thomas. Corey Simon gets on top of him, sits on him here. Ends up in a hurdler stretch. In for him right now is Lenny Friedman.
First and 10 for the Redskins from the 43. Ramsey with time. And he overthrows Darnarian McCants.
Had him. They haven't gone down the field much today. He knows he had the safety split in stride and couldn't find the touch on him. Darnarian McCants coming out of a slot. Boy, I tell you, they got the safety that time. Roderick Hood turned around. Got exactly what they wanted. good protection. Ramsey last year against the Eagles here threw the ball 50 times. Randy Thomas getting carted off. That's not a good sign.
On second down, this is Betts. And Betts fights his way up to the 49-yard line for a gain of 6. Another tackle by Jeremiah Trotter, his 4th. Timeout is taken by the Eagles. 2:23 remaining. First half. Well, next week, a full day of football begins with America's #1 pregame show as our guys break down the Eagles' dynamic duo of Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens. Plus, find out who goes 10 yards with TV. Fox NFL Sunday returns next week at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox.
Now, is that what kind of moon is that?
Is that a 3/4 moon?
3/4? Yeah. Because the Eagles right now are kind of on 3/4, throttle. And the Redskins are playing their kind of game. I mean, the Redskins never get blown out. 9 games this year. They've had the ball in their hands at just about all of them at the end in their losses. The chance to win it. They've taken the ball out of T.O.'s hands. He hasn't touched it today. I mean, this is the Redskins kind of game right now. The longer it goes like this, the more it favors the Redskins.
They've won their last 2 road games in Chicago and in Detroit. But they've lost 4 in a row at home. 3rd down and 4. Ramsey did a 360 and now finds Lavernius Coles, who has a first down. So the Redskins move the chains, stop the clock. 2:17 remaining in the half. Coles out of bounds at the Eagles' 42 after a gain of 9.
Well, look, it's not an aggressive passing game. I mean, basically all it is just it's a hitch offense is what it is. Let's just throw it right to the sidelines and get as many blockers out here as we can. That's what they do. They get a nice convoy out there. They're not putting a lot of trust in Patrick Ramsey at this point. They're playing it safe, but if it's 7-3, why get foolish with the football right now?
Ramsey 8 of 10, 63 yards. And we have hit the 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. Redskins driving down by only 4. Two minutes remaining first half, and for an injury update, we check in with the 3rd member of our crew, Don Tollefson. Don?
Hey, thanks, Kenny. Bad news for that Redskins offensive line. Randy Thomas has a right hamstring injury. He is out for the rest of the game. They had been running the ball pretty effectively, but now changes in that offensive line. Back to you, Kenny.
All right. Lenny Friedman was beat out for the starting center position in the preseason by Corey Raymer, and is the backup center and guard right now, but still a good, effective player.
From the 42, Ramsey with time. Liddell Betts inside the 30. So Betts picks up another first down, a gain of 13 yards.
Redskins packing it in on the protection here. Watch this. I mean, keeping 7 guys in right there, giving Ramsey plenty of time. Only getting 3 out, but they got Betts out of the backfield, a little bit leaky, and the Eagles minus a couple of linebackers today. Mark Simino, Nate Wayne, right there beating Keith Adams on that pass route.
Thrash in motion from the 30. Ramsey looking for Coles, and there's a flag.
Yep. Well, it's clear that the Redskins are trying to get a matchup of Lavernius Coles against Rod Hood. And Roderick Hood just got called for holding there.
Holding, number 29, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So another key penalty called on the Eagles defense.
Well, here it is. That right there, I mean, that's flagrant right there out there in the field for the side judge, the back judge, everybody to see. But nice move by Lavernius Coles. Nice change of direction. Looked like he was going to slant, then stemmed it upfield on him.
5 Eagles penalties on 3 of the 5. Their defense has given the Redskins an automatic first down. And that pass batted back by Brian Dawkins.
You know, eventually, I mean, the Redskins try to change the action there. They try to fake pitch right there and then come back and throw the hitch. But eventually, the Eagles have to say, that's the passing lane. The passing lane is horizontal to the sideline. Let's start getting our hands up there and playing volleyball with the ball. I mean, here it is right here. I mean, Dawkins sees it. He can see it from depth right there. And now, once you get that ball tipped up, that's anybody's ball. Good alert play by Dawkins, the veteran safety.
3 wide receivers set. Thrash in the slot. Pulls, split to the left, Gardner to the right. On 2nd and 10, Gardner makes the catch and picks up a first down. A gain of 14 yards for Rod Gardner. The Redskins call timeout with 1:31 remaining in the first half. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. Plus, the Fox Sports Ticker will bring you up to the second stats. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report.
I think Joe Gibbs likes the efficiency that Ramsey's playing with right now. They're not asking him to do a lot, but what he's doing pretty well.
1st and 10 from just outside the 10. And Liddell Betts is bottled up. Michael Lewis on the tackle for the Eagles. And Joe Gibbs told us yesterday, he said, what has happened over the first 9 weeks, not all Mark Brunell's fault. However, Patrick Ramsey deserves a shot.
Yeah, well, look, the protection broke down for Brunell. The play calling was spotty at times. There was a lot of drop passes, but really, Brunell did not bring what they thought. An elusiveness, a scramble ability, and he wasn't accurate with the football. Less than 50% completion.
2nd down and 9. Ramsey nearly collided with Betts. The throw to the end zone is bobbled and then dropped by McCants. Good effort. Double coverage on the play.
Well, we've seen a couple of mix-ups in the backfield. Just ball handling right now with Ramsey, the new guy in here. He almost runs right into Liddell Betts. Well, he slips, so Ramsey does a nice job of jumping over him. Threw that ball into some pretty tight coverage. So, you know, Ramsey threw 2 interceptions last week against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati had their hands on about 6 other balls. That one was probably ill-advised.
Now 3rd down and 9. Ramsey to the outside to Coles. Out of bounds at the 6.
Here's the problem with that throw, is that you've got to take a shot to the end zone. You know at this part of the field, you're going to get a good shot at the field goal. That's not going to go away. Why not take a shot to the end zone? Throw it to the corner. Throw a jump ball in there. I mean, they're all kind of nodding, saying, okay, nothing bad with the ball. You're doing all right. You're doing all right. But, you know, it's not as aggressive as they can be right here.
Perhaps they will be content going into the locker room down by 1. Remember, Joe Gibbs told us last night, this is the biggest game as an underdog I have ever been a part of.
2-touchdown underdog.
24-yard attempt for Kimron. He is now 2 for 2. So, with just 42 seconds remaining in the half, the Eagles' lead is just 1. A 13-play, 63-yard drive, culminating with the 24-yard Ola Kimron field goal as the Redskins have pulled to within 1 point.
Yeah, but they've got help by some Eagle penalties today. Lito Shepard holding Gardner on the first 3rd down of the game. That would have been 3 and out. Allowed the Redskins to hold on to the ball on that opening drive, and then Roderick Hood in this last one getting a hold of Lavernius Coles and keeping that drive alive. So both Redskins scoring drives aided today by Eagle penalties.
Kickoff out of bounds. Eagles will start from the 40.
Well, the Redskins have just made... You got to control these things these days after what's going on in the world of pro sports. They clean that up pretty good. Really, a couple of errors here by the Redskins. I mean, if you're not going to take a shot to the end zone, you should at least run the ball and at least run more time off the clock, and then certainly not kick the ball out of bounds where the Eagles will take charge from the 40.
And when you talk about the Eagles offense, Eagles with 1 timeout remaining. Remember, Philadelphia coming off a 49-point game on Monday night. They had scored more first-half points than any other team in the NFL. They have just 7 today.
McNabb threw for 345 yards on 15 completions. Nobody has ever done that since Joe Namath did it over 30 years ago.
Penalty markers on first down.
Now, Andy's looking at this today, and that's what he was looking at practice on Friday.
72 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
How much do you think the Monday night game, arriving back at 6 a.m., had to do with the week?
I think it does have a lot to do with it, but I have seen Andy Reid's practices now for 6 years. In the summer training camp, Fridays, midweek, and that was the worst practice I've ever seen. And I saw T.O. dropping balls. Of course, after practice, him and McNabb stayed after to try to get it right. Snap count, problems, guys jumping off sides. It didn't seem like they had, a little bounce in the step, and it's carried over here in this first half.
From the 35, McNabb complete to Westbrook. Taken down just shy of the 45-yard line by Lamar Marshall. Eagles use their final timeout with 32 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, the Eagles here at 2nd and 5, Akers warming up. Really, the Eagles need to travel about 20 yards here. They need to get to the 35 of the Redskins to be in Akers' range.
His season long is 51.
Look for the Eagles here to work the sidelines. Try to get an easy completion and get out of bounds.
Remember, they have no timeouts remaining. McNabb on 2nd and 5. Lobs it up for Pinkston, and he gets down to that 35-yard line. Clock continues to run.
They've got time to kill it. They got time to get to the line of scrimmage here and kill it. Don't have to rush it. That's not good. That looked like a loose ball. I don't think he ever had a grip of that ball. I think McNabb lined up behind a guard, and not behind Hank Fraley. Watch this, McNabb trying. Here's the center. Here's Artis Hicks. Whoops. If you're the center, you're like, I think he's back there.
False start. Number 5, offense. By rule, with the clock running inside of a minute, the false start by the offense requires a 10-second runoff. The first half is over.
That happened to Vinny Testaverde on Monday night.
That's a costly mistake. That's a 10-second runoff. An offensive penalty inside the last minute of a half.
So the Eagles got the ball into field goal range. McNabb lines up behind the left guard, and it costs the Eagles a chance for a field goal. The Eagles 8-1, the Redskins 3-6, but at the half, it's the Eagles leading by only 1 here in Philadelphia as we take a look at the first half numbers.
Well, really, that's not indicative. I mean, right now the Eagles have a lot more yards than the Redskins, but it's a 7-6 game right now. So really the Eagles have not been productive. They haven't gotten the ball to the big play guys. I mean, nothing special from any of these guys. Ramsey is throwing the ball to the sidelines. McNabb has made a couple of plays with his legs. Haven't really gotten the ball to the playmakers on either side at this point.
Our fantasy update, one name missing from this list is Terrell Owens, who was held without a catch in the first half.
Yeah, and the Redskins have done a great job of taking him out of this game, and you got to believe that Andy will come back at halftime and find ways to get him the football.
Eagles not in sync in that first half, starting with some early penalties.
Well, when you're mentally tired and fatigued, your feet don't move, and the Eagles' feet aren't moving, and so they're holding and grabbing, and the referees are catching it. McNabb has taken some big shots, 2 big shots in the first half. One led to a fumble. That killed the drive. And then they've taken T.O. out of the game plan here. They doubled him. Sean Springs and Fred Smoot have done a good job, as they have all year. And then at the end, we talk about mentally fatigued. Donovan McNabb lines up behind Artis Hicks. That led to a 10-second runoff. And the Eagles were not able to down the ball and thus attempt a field goal for some points right before the end of the first half. Mistakes is
what really the story is for the first half of the Eagles. And Andy starts every game with 2 sets of 15 plays that he draws from. And then at halftime, he comes up with a new set of plays. And you got to believe that that first set was already burned, because that didn't do any good. And so him and Brad Childers sat down at halftime. They have a new 15 here to start the third quarter.
Short kickoff by Cameron, taken by Rod Hood, and he's tackled back at the 27-yard line by Pat Dennis. So the Eagles get the ball first here in this second half. First half this season in which Terrell Owens was shut out.
Yeah, and you can believe that he's simmering at this point, and he probably had some things to say at halftime. And he said he's taken a lot of suggestions from T.O. this year. We'll see what they start with here. They've got him in the lower slot here on the first play of the third quarter.
Empty backfield from the 27. McNabb in trouble. Down he goes. Ronaldo Wynn, the longtime Jacksonville Jaguar, with his 3rd sack this season.
Got an injury to an Eagle there. That's Artis Hicks, who was started this year because of the injury in the first week of the season to Sean Andrews. They just love the way that he's played right here at left guard. Good job up there against Brandon Noble. Got him stoned. Doesn't look like anything. Oh, that's what happens. Ronaldo Wynn goes right into the back of his legs there.
So the Eagles medical staff continues to tend to Hicks.
It's not a friendly moon shining down on the Eagles right now. Artis Hicks slips off the field, which is a good sign. Took a shot to the inside right here of his left knee. Ronaldo Wynn, just don't look at that. It's a good sign that he walked up. Steve Shulo's taking his place at left guard right now. Eagles get thin on the offensive line. Jermaine Mayberry is limping on a bad calf at right guard.
2nd down and 12 following the sack. McNabb in trouble again, and he goes down for the 2nd consecutive play. This time it's Brandon Noble.
Yeah, and they're coming right up the middle. I mean, Brandon Noble along with Joe Salavea right inside here. These guys are pressuring right here, not allowing McNabb to step up in the pocket. They're doing this without a blitz. Andy Reid challenged his offensive line after that dismal showing against Pittsburgh last week on Monday night, and they did a good job bouncing back. Right now, Greg Williams and Greg Blosh there, the defensive line coach, gotta love what he's looking at.
3 sacks today for the Redskins, including 2 on back-to-back plays. 3rd down and 19. And McNabb's pass is caught by Owens, his first reception today, but not enough for a first down.
There's even some pressure on McNabb that time. I'll tell you, John Runyon here gets some pressure up, but right here, McNabb, Terrell Owens inside. Good job of coming back to the ball and making a catch, but put themselves in a position, long yards with the sacks.
Kirk Johnson's punt takes an Eagles roll out of bounds back at the 18-yard line. Mike Sellers is the injured Redskin following a 50-yard punt. Mike Sellers limping off early second half. Eagles leading 7-6. And for Joe Gibbs, his first game coaching against the Philadelphia Eagles since 1992. The Eagles head coach was Rich Kotite, their quarterback Randall Cunningham, running back Herschel Walker, and wearing number 62 for the Eagles that day, my partner, Brian Baldinger.
The old Veterans Stadium there that day. I think we clinched the NFC East that day. We had got ourselves a playoff spot that day against the New Orleans Saints. Artis Hicks signed a 6-year contract extension in March, being wheeled off. We'll take a look at that left knee.
Redskins start from their own 18 following the terrific defensive series. And Portis gains 5 out to the 23-yard line. So Artis Hicks heading back to the Eagles locker room with his 6 sisters in attendance here today.
Yeah, grew up in a household, lost his father at an early age. 6 sisters coming into town to cook Thanksgiving dinner. I hope he's able to get around the table to get to his turkey.
I'm sure he'll get to it somehow.
Well, it'll be delivered. 6 sisters, somebody's got to be serving it.
And the report is a left knee sprain, which is not as bad as it looked initially.
Yeah, at least he walked off under his own power.
2nd down and 5. Movement on the line.
False start, number 82. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
There've been a lot of those today. Been a lot of those all season for Joe Gibson. You know, he has a motion offense, a movement offense where there's a lot of shifting. It's cost him a game this year. Cost him the Green Bay game 3 weeks ago. James Thrash moving at the end of the game when Clinton Portis scored the go-ahead touchdown. Got called back.
Oh, nearly intercepted. It's caught by Rod Gardner and takes it up to the 23-yard line for a gain of 5.
And, you know, the Eagles might get one of these because we've seen Brian Dawkins bat one down, and now you see Sheldon Brown right here in the slot make a play. I mean, as soon as he's looking at the quarterback, as soon as he sees Ramsey turn his hips like he's throwing a double play, they're coming up, because that's really the only pass they've been able to complete today.
Now a 3rd down and 5. Redskins have to get to the 28 for a 1st down. And the pass is intended for Thrash, but he was out of bounds.
Now, if they're just going to throw the ball to the sidelines, you're going to get that. You're going to get wide receivers trying to walk a tightrope here. Left foot steps out.
Got only 1 foot in.
Well, 1 foot out, then he got the other foot out.
So Tom Tupa, who has punted more times than any other punter in the league this season, from his own 13-yard line. From the 24, Westbrook. And Westbrook takes it all the way up to the 39, a 15-yard return, setting up good field position for the Eagles, who lead by just 1. 7-6 Eagles, early 3rd quarter. We check in once again with Don Tollefson.
Real quickly, Mike Sellers, the Redskin you saw hurt a minute ago, has a hurt right toe. He's trying to walk it off, maybe back, guys.
All right, thanks, Don. Eagles start from their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Brian Westbrook, gain of 1.
Well, we just saw Westbrook a moment ago return that punt. He hadn't returned a punt all year. Try to take that duty away from him to keep him fresher in the latter part of the season. But I think the Eagles put him back here because they're looking for any kind of a spark right now in offense or special teams.
He took 2 punts back for touchdowns last season, as we take a look at Sellers on the Redskins sideline. Second and 9 from the 39. McNabb able to get rid of it, and it's complete up at the 43-yard line for the tight end, L.J. Smith, setting up 3rd down and 5.
Tell you, that time the Redskins brought pressure from the outside, and again they got to McNabb. Marcus Washington, former defensive end in college, jumped right around Westbrook. It hasn't been comfortable for McNabb back there all day. Give him credit for keeping that head up and not flinching with pressure coming in front of him and from behind him.
Eagles drove 13 plays, scored a touchdown on their opening drive. Since then, not much.
Oof.
On 3rd and 5, it is picked off by Sean Taylor, the rookie out of Miami. And for Taylor, it's his 3rd interception of the season. For the Eagles, their 2nd turnover today.
The guy is a playmaker, and he jumped this out route by T.O., and McNabb was just a little late with the ball. He read it all the way. And for a rookie to read this, here he is right here. He's just going to jump this route. Jumps right in front of Owens right there. He made some crunching hits last week in the game. And this one right here stops another Eagle drive.
Greg Williams told us that Sean Taylor is the best athlete he's ever coached. And remember, he's coached not only Lamar Arrington, but Javon Curse.
Yeah. He got all the tools, the size, the speed, and then the instincts.
Portis hit in the backfield yet again, this time by Sam Rayburn, a loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, I tell you, Sean Taylor is earning it today. I mean, his dirty uniform, the pads out right here. He doesn't even notice. He just stopped another Eagle drive. And that Redskin defense, again, getting the ball. I see somebody come over. Pat Dennis, who hadn't played out there, got a clean uniform, has got to come over and clean up the dirty uniform. That's the kind of respect you get, though, when you keep making plays the way Taylor has.
2nd down and 13. Pass intended for Gardner. And about 3 Eagles had him lined up.
I'll tell you, time is right now for the Redskins to strike. And I'll tell you an area of the field where they need to strike, because the Eagles haven't seen it all year. They have not hit a corner route all year. And right now, the Eagles are playing the hitches and they're playing slants. And if I'm Joe Gibbs right now, I'm like, you know what? We got a chance for a little knockout shot here. Take advantage of the turnover. Area of the field I'm talking is here. Out to the corners. Been afraid to throw it there all year.
3rd down and 13. Ramsey steps up. There's a penalty marker, and Ramsey is taken down by Derek Burgess at the 37-yard line. But there is a flag.
I tell you, both receivers that were out in a route, Coles and Gardner, both ran to the corner. And I think when Ramsey felt the pressure, he took his eyes off down the field.
Holding, number 52, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's Corey Rayburn, the Redskins center.
Well, the Eagles come with some pressure right here. They got Darwin Walker right on him. Walker gets a good push. Oh, yeah, he got the right hand on the back of the jersey there, rides him down. He was looking. Watch Coles here go to the corner. Right to that area of the field. Eagles do a pretty good job of doubling that area. That's the area that is open. Not by much, but there's an opening there.
So it's now a 3rd down and 23. Redskins have to get to the 26-yard line for a 1st down. Instead, a short pass to Betts.
Well, they're playing not to lose. I mean, that's just what they're doing. The defense is getting the ball back. And if you just keep doing this to the Eagles, you're playing right into their hands. You might as well take a shot. As good as your defense is playing, you might as well get aggressive with the ball.
If you take a shot downfield and it gets picked off, it's the same as a punt.
Yeah. Might be better than a punt. Dexter Wynn back there returning this punt this time.
Not Brian Westbrook. Tupa from his own 45. Wynn lets it go, and it rolls into the end zone. Redskins could not keep it out. A 44-yard punt by Tupa. So the Eagles will start at their own 20. How excited is Javon Curse? Eagles leading 7-6. Eagles led the league in turnover margin plus 12, but today a -2. They have turned it over twice. 1 McNabb fumble, 1 interception, and this pass bobbled and dropped by Smith.
Well, the Redskins defense has played great. No, the Eagles look like they're still in a hangover from Monday night. Take nothing away from these Redskins, because this is how they've played all year, but the offense of the Redskins not to do anything with the ball after turnovers right now is what the story has been this year for the team. One of the reasons why they've only been able to score 18 points once all year in a loss to Dallas.
Redskins today, after both turnovers, have gone 3 and out. Well, look at what the Eagles have done on 2nd down today, because they have struggled on 3rd down, Brian, this season, but that's because they pick up so many 1st downs on 2nd down plays.
Yeah, 2nd down. I mean, it's been their big down this year, but today, first of all, they've had almost 10 yards to go on 2nd down. They've only picked up 3 1st downs, and nothing big, no big plays. And that's part of what T.O. has done to Andy Reid, is he's made him more aggressive on 2nd down. taking a lot more shots down the field. Owens right here, being guarded by Sean Springs.
Third down and 6, play action. McNabb with time, and the pass caught at the 36-yard line by Freddie Mitchell, his first catch today. And when Freddie Mitchell catches a pass, it's usually for a first down.
Well, I tell you, Freddie Mitchell's in the slot this time, and here he is. Always got his hands up. That's his 11th catch and 10th first down this year. He's done a good job of just finding the open, dead area of that zone.
From the 36, the give to number 36, Westbrook, and he is into Redskins territory to the Washington 42-yard line.
Good block this time by the fullback, Josh Perry, getting Westbrook into the hole. Watch Perry here, into the hole here. Good block there, sealing it. Nice job by Chad Lewis on the backside.
21 yards for Westbrook, and that's the longest offensive play today for either team. From the 43, Westbrook again. Out of bounds at the 37, forced out by Ryan Clark after a gain of 6.
Westbrook looked like he tripped coming on the grass. I think he's okay. I think he almost came out of his shoe. Anytime Westbrook grabs anything, people in Philadelphia kind of grab too. Just worried about his durability. Oh yeah, just tripped on the turf, ended up kicking himself, trying to make that cut. Not good traction. Got to get the winter tires, get the radials out right now.
Just about that time, Dorsey Levitt in for Westbrook. Gain of 2 down to the 35. And now Westbrook checking back in.
Well, Westbrook got off to a pretty good start earlier today, and then really the offense has struggled, you know, with the turnovers and penalties, and kind of backed up a little bit since that opening drive. I mean, their opening drive is the only touchdown that they have today. Only threat they've had today. It was at 13 plays. I mean, they put it together on that drive. Since then, this Redskins defense is dictating. There's a blitz coming right now from the Redskins.
Third down and 2. First down at the 30-yard line. Ryan Westbrook.
Late flag just came out of the secondary. It'll be a personal foul, I think, against Washington.
Looks like it's against Sean Taylor.
Yeah, probably something really unnecessary.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 36, defense, forearm to the face of a player, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, it's dummy head football right here. I mean, here's T.O. working on Fred Smoot, trying to throw him out of the way. The play basically is over right here, and there it is. And I'm going to tell you, the one guy you don't want a cheap shot in this league is Terrell Owens, because everybody's looking at him. The referees are looking at him, the fans are looking at him, the quarterback's trying to find him. All eyes are on T.O.
That was ridiculous. The play's over.
Yeah, the play's over. Okay, those are the kind of things that wake T.O. up, get his attention.
From the 15, Westbrook broke a couple of tackles and gains a yard down to the Redskins 14 before he was tackled by Marcus Washington.
Now, the Redskins are doing a good job on Westbrook, but Westbrook looks like he's back from that injury. Looked like he was back from the very beginning today, and you know, most of his big runs come in the second half after he's carried a lot and he starts to wear down defenses. He's still changing gears and shifting right now. Looks like he's back.
Eagles in the red zone, 2nd and 9 from the Washington 14.
There's T.O. and Sean Springs right there in the slot.
bringing it down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, the tight end, L.J. Smith.
These two cornerbacks of Washington have carried this defense all year. Here's Sean Springs right here on Terrell Owens. Sticky coverage, hands on him, anticipates the move back into the end zone, inside out. I mean, it's textbook. And right next to him, Fred Smoot, the same thing. Not many teams have corners that are this good in this league. And when you get corners that can cover the way these guys do, it frees up your safeties to do a lot in the blitzing game.
Third down and 5. McNabb to the end zone. Touchdown, Terrell Owens.
Little calisthenics. I guess you can only shut them down so long. You can only have sticky coverage for so long, and then eventually things kind of break down.
Only his second catch today. 13th touchdown reception of the season, which ties an Eagles club record. David Akers adds the extra point. The Eagles have extended to an 8-point lead. McNabb to Owens for the 13th time this season, and some calisthenics and a high five. Well, just 3 plays after that penalty, when Terrell Owens was rubbed up by Sean Taylor, Owens into the end zone for the 13th time this season, tying an Eagles club record set twice by Tommy McDonald and then again by Mike Quick 21 years ago.
Well, Mike Quick is in the radio booth for the Eagles today, and I've seen a couple of throwback Tommy McDonald jerseys around the stadium today.
Short kickoff taken by Mike Sellers, who was injured earlier. Sellers back in the game and brings it out to the 39.
Take a look at the touchdown here. Right here, you're going to see right there, Owens and Springs. One-on-one, no help for Sean Springs, and that's a hard assignment. No inside help here. Looked like Sean Springs is forcing him inside, thinking somebody might be there. Terrell Owens told us that on his website, he gets thousands of suggestions on what he should do. He said some of them are ridiculous in celebrations. That one seemed kind of mild. But maybe the calisthenics are what's going to be a warm-up here the rest of this game.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was calisthenics or head, shoulders, knees, and toes. You familiar with that one, Brian?
How's that go?
I'm not going to sing it for you.
All right, here we go.
No singing. We'll let T.O. do the celebration. Woke up the entire crowd and energizes everybody. I mean, look, I mean, he gets everybody in the fans. He's like a rock star here.
Crowd chanting T.O. here in Philadelphia. Redskins start from the 38. And the pass is caught by Lavernius Coles for a gain of 5. 13 touchdowns for T.O., 13 different celebrations.
The bottom line from Terrell Owens is he's the hardest working guy here in Philadelphia, and it feels like he earns that right to celebrate.
Clinton Portis into Eagles territory, gain of 13, and Fred Smoot told us yesterday, if you don't want T.O. to celebrate, don't let him score.
It's really the league company line right now, if you will. That's what Fred told us the first thing. I said, what are you going to do to T.O.? And he goes, look, you don't want to. If we want to stop him from dancing, we got to keep him out of the end zone. They've done a great job for almost 3 quarters today.
First and 10 from the Eagles 44. Thrash in motion. Play action. Ramsey going deep. Nearly intercepted. Intended for Taylor Jacobs. Sheldon Brown on the coverage for the Eagles. You know, getting back to that Owens touchdown, he beat Sean Springs It was Springs who was beaten 2 seasons ago in Seattle when Owens then pulled out the Sharpie.
Yeah, you know, and the speculation was that Springs had a Sharpie as well. I asked Sean about that. But, you know, here's a guy like Owens today, frustrated, obviously. No outburst, staying within the framework of the offense, gets his chance to make a play. Little celebration. Looks like he's all about team here today.
2nd and 10, complete. The thrash for a first down, out of bounds inside the 31-yard line as we check in once again with James Brown. JB.
Hey, Kenny and Brian, 16 plays, 72 yards. The numbers on the drive. Eli Manning with this first career touchdown toss. That to Jeremy Shockey, the tight end. 6-yard variety. 14-7 Falcons. Archie Manning approving of his son's move. Back to Kenny and Brian.
Eli with the first touchdown, but I tell you, the new standard set for rookie quarterbacks in this league with the play of Ben Roethlisberger.
Portis down at the 29. You saw the records of the rookie quarterbacks. A combined 11-1. Roethlisberger 8-0. Craig Krenzel at Chicago now 3-1. And the Steelers, of course, the only team to beat the Eagles this season. They did it 2 weeks ago in Pittsburgh, 27-3, and the Steelers will host these Redskins next week.
You talk about undefeated records. You know, they beat the Eagles when they were undefeated. They beat the Patriots when they were undefeated. Some pretty good teams emerging here as we get ready for a stretch.
On 2nd and 9, this pass is caught by McCants. Did you think Peyton was upset that Archie did not go to the Colts game today?
They're going to have a family issue of how to be in 2 places at once this year. I tell you, the Eagles, if they don't intercept one of these hitch routes today, then they're just not alert, because 1 out of every other pass is a hitch. I mean, you've got to anticipate these things a little bit more than they have.
Will the Redskins get this play off prior to the end of the 3rd quarter? Nope, they do not. Only scoring in the 3rd, the 10-yard touchdown pass from Donovan McNabb to Terrell Owens. So after 3 in Philadelphia, it's the Eagles 14 and the Redskins 6. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local Fox station. We start the 4th quarter. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger in Philadelphia.
Yeah, look at those shoes. That's something for the new era.
Have to keep them clean.
Yeah. Look like they have holes in them.
1st and 10 Redskins from the Eagles 20. And the pass is caught by Cooley. And he's forced out of bounds inside the 12 by Brian Dawkins, a gain of 9.
Well, this is the Redskins kind of game. You know, it's ugly. There's not much offense. They don't allow the quarterbacks to do too much. But Joe said he'd love to be up by a couple of touchdowns in a game this year. It hasn't happened. Feels like this is his best way to win games. Keep it close, play it tight, try not to make too many errors, try to create some turnovers.
2nd down and 1. Portis. Now, should the Redskins get into the end zone, Brian, is it too early to go for 2?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you just take the points at that point, make it a 14-13 game. You're still going to need to score. All those decisions and a good coaching staff are made before the drive even begins, so that there is no delay after you score, if you do score.
And remember, the 2-point conversion did not come into the NFL until after Joe Gibbs retired following the 92 season. One of the many new wrinkles he has had to catch up to since his return.
Now, I always think that, you know, they always have that chart for 2-point, go for it, don't go for it. I think you just take the points and think that you're going to score more points. I think when you go for the tie, even this early in the 4th quarter, to make it 14-14, you're saying, okay, we're going to hold them and we're not going to score and we're going to go to overtime. I don't think you play for overtime.
Remember what Steve Mariucci told us 2 years ago? There are different charts.
Yeah.
Charts are not all the same.
The coaches always try to correct the chart to measure their thinking.
Penalty markers on first down.
Before the snap, false start, number 67, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
41-year-old Ray Brown trying to get a head start on the play.
That's Joe Bugle. Joe Bugle, the offensive line coach, the coach of the Hogs for years. Back with Joe Gibbs. Back on the carousel, but 4 false starts and a delay of game today will shake up anybody on that side of the ball. I think the Redskins a little bit more room to work, though, down the field.
First and goal from the 15. Ramsey throws it out of bounds, and there's a flag, perhaps a late hit on Ramsey by Derek Burgess.
Walt Anderson, the referee, had a look at what's going on. Chris Samuel was blocking Derek Burgess, who had good penetration.
Holding, number 60, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Redskins moving backwards. Their second consecutive penalty on an offensive tackle.
Well, the way they're going here, Kenny, the whole 2-point discussion is a moot point. Samuel's here, right here, got his, see the jersey right there? Got the jersey of Burgess outside the shoulder pad.
So the Redskins now all the way back at the Eagles' 25-yard line. Still first and goal. Pass short, intended for Clinton Portis.
Well, I tell you, I was talking to Patrick Ramsey yesterday, and he's frustrated by the offense. I mean, he comes out of Tulane where he was a gunslinger. Last year with Spurrier, he was able to use his arm. And right here, I mean, you got a chance to get to the corner. You at least got to throw it up there. Allow Coles or Gardner to at least go play for a jump ball. At least take a shot up there. You get illegal contact, you can get holding, you can get defensive pass interference. Allow the rules to work in your favor.
Now second and goal from the 25.
Screen.
And again, incomplete. Again intended for Clinton Portis.
Well, they've completely broken down here. I mean, one play after another. Bad throws, penalties. This is what's plagued this offense. That's why they're the only team in the league that hasn't scored 20 points yet this year.
They've gone 10 consecutive games without reaching 20, going back to last season.
If they've got a trick play in the bag, this might not be a bad time to use it.
Third and goal from the 25. Play clock winding down. And it looks like they did not get the snap off in time.
Well, Chris Samuels also moved at left tackle. He flinched.
Before the snap, false start, number 60, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
The third penalty against the Redskins offensive line this drive, and it now forces them back to the 30.
Well, they've gone from first and goal to now, they're third down and 30. And
it was first and goal from the 10.
But, your experienced players are making the errors. I mean, there it is. 6 bad plays here from veteran players.
The slant is dropped. Another drop, this time by Rod Gardner.
Brunell giving Ramsey a pep talk here. Trying to keep his head in the game. Hasselback over there.
So Ola Kimron, whose career long is 41, out to attempt a 48-yard field goal. The second native of Sweden to play in the NFL. Remember Bjorn Nittmo of the Giants?
Yeah, well, somewhat.
Kimron from 48, wide to the right.
Well, life is hard for the Redskins. To be a Redskin fan and a Redskin member of the organization is tough.
Still 14-6, Eagles. Eagles take over at their own 38 following the missed field goal. Westbrook looking to get back to the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Ronaldo Wynn.
That was what happened once the Redskins got into the goal-to-go situation in the last series. 3 penalties, backed them up 20 yards. 3 incompletions, 2 of them dropped by the receivers. Missed the field goal. Ramsey trying to keep his confidence up here. Defense trying to get the ball back to him one more time here.
Trailing the Eagles by 8. Empty backfield. On 2nd and 10, McNabb's pass tipped. Nearly intercepted as we check in with James Brown.
Hey, Kenny Albert, the suspensions have been handed out for that ugly brawl that all of America knows about now. Ron Artest of the Indiana Pacers suspended for the rest of the season. That's 73 games. Steven Jackson of Indiana suspended for 30 games. Jermaine O'Neal for 25. And Detroit's Ben Wallace for 6 games. All other suspensions are without pay. Some of the harshest penalties ever handed out. Overall, there were 9 players who've been penalized. Let's take it back to Kenny Albert and Brian Baldinger.
And that's the ugliest thing I've seen in sports in all my years of watching sports. And they deserve the heavy fines and suspensions.
Pinkston down the sidelines, but he was ruled out of bounds back at midfield. Todd Pinkston stepped out of bounds after gaining 12 yards.
Runner stepped out of bounds at the 50-yard line. It's first down.
Yeah, stepped out with his left foot. Andy Reid likes to use the big screen here to take a look at things, whether he wants to challenge something, but clearly he had a couple feet on the white stripe. Good call.
And getting back to the Artest situation, I think what you have...
Oh, look at the Eagles trying to catch the Redskins in a hurry up. Flag came out, though. A challenge flag came out.
Do the Redskins think that Pinkston came in from out of bounds to make the catch?
Well, the challenge flag came from the Redskins. Now, was the flag out there before the Eagles got the play up? They hurried the play up.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner stepped out at the 50-yard line.
Perhaps challenging the spot.
Yes.
Redskins were talking about it, and the Eagles tried to get to the line quickly. But the red flag did come out prior to the snap. Joe Gibbs has lost his last 4 replay challenges, but he should win this one, Brian.
Yeah, because right here, Pinkston steps out of bounds before the 47-yard line, and he had to get to the 48-yard line to get the first down. Watch his left foot here. Boom, right there, he's out of bounds. Here's the first down marker, and that's where the foot goes out of bounds. He should win this challenge, and it will force the Eagles into a 4th down. It's a good challenge by Joe Gibbs. It helps that he was right on that sideline. Probably had a pretty good look at it. Andy Reid confers with Marty Morningweg on the sideline.
Walt Anderson took a look at it, and the Redskins should win this challenge and force the Eagles to punt.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Charged with its first timeout.
He said that he didn't go out of bounds.
At the 50-yard line.
Joe Gibbs, when he coached, never had instant replay challenges, and losing 5 in a row, I think he wants to go back to the old days in a lot of things.
But I do not agree with this.
No, I think he stepped out. I mean, I think the evidence was overwhelming that the foot was on the white stripe.
Pinkston should have been ruled out of bounds on the 47. So you and I both do not agree with the call from referee Walt Anderson.
I guess we got 4 bad eyes up here.
So the Eagles maintain possession, a first down from midfield. Redskins lose a timeout, and this pass is dropped by Owens, something we witnessed in practice a couple of times on Friday.
Yeah, and he stayed out after practice to work on the drops. Andy said that he doesn't have naturally good hands, that he has to work on it a lot. He gets the ball machine out there at practice and works after practice and before practice he dropped a lot of passes in San Francisco for that reason right there, where he felt like he had to make every play. And right there, he took his eyes off looking it into his hands and started turning his eyes upfield.
Now 2nd and 10 from midfield for the Eagles. A give to Westbrook. Gain of 1 down to the 49. Just to finish up on the Ron Artest situation, I think what professional athletes in all sports have to keep in mind, if something happens involving a fan, if a fan throws something, you just have to let security handle it.
Yes. Yeah, you can't go in. You can't go in because it's dangerous for everybody else involved. There was a lot of idiots in that stance, you know, that provoked the athletes. But there has to be some level of restraint, and there has to be better security. And in the NBA, the fans are too close to the players. At least here, it's almost like a moat around the stadium where it'd be very difficult for the fans to get to the players and vice versa.
Now 3rd down and 9. Eagles have to get to the 40. Pump fake. Now McNabb throws. And we have a flag. Freddie Mitchell, the intended receiver, got tangled up with Fred Smoot.
Kenny, if it's just the feet that get tangled up, it shouldn't be a flag. If there's hands involved and pushing and trying to get an advantage, that's when they throw the flag. One of the advantages of being aggressive with the football and throwing it down the field is you can get calls like this, whether this is right or wrong.
Pass interference. Number 21. Defense. Spotted the foul. 1st down.
And that is the first pass interference call against Fred Smoot this season.
On the outside, Smoot's in good shape there. You're saying that his left hand is on Freddie Mitchell. Yeah.
He pushed him.
Yeah. Just really trying to keep his balance. He ends up pushing him from behind with the left hand.
29-yard penalty from the 20. Play action. McNabb complete. John Lewis. 1st down, Eagles.
Wow. It's a telling stat right there. Redskins just hurting themselves in this entire half. Not giving themselves a chance. But McNabb telling these guys in the huddle, let's go. They're trying to be a little forceful and taking charge right there. Good shot.
Kingston split to the left, Owens to the right. 1st and goal, Westbrook. Brian Westbrook takes it down to the 1-yard line.
Andy Reid, I tell you, I've never seen so many different colors in the rainbow as he puts on that chart. Starts building that chart on Tuesday. Separate area for short yardage, for goal line inside the 2, inside the 1. I think the best play caller in the NFL.
Right here, 76.
Many of the Redskins coaches agree that he's right up there with Mike Martz. Dorsey Levens. No gain.
Of course, a big part of play calling is execution of the plays. I mean, you can call great plays, but if you don't have great players, T.O. coming onto the field, you don't have great players that execute them, then it's hard to evaluate and hard to judge. Terrell Owens said that he doesn't play fantasy football. A lot of his friends do. He said he'd love to score 3 touchdowns every week. Love to go after Jerry Rice's record. You just get the feeling here at 3rd and even more than a yard. Terrell Owens in the backfield, in motion now.
McNabb to the end zone for Westbrook. Touchdown.
Owens set the pick. Owens set the pick, and Westbrook got the basket. Watch Owens here in motion. Here's Andy Reid's play call. Using him, basically using that body as a shield. Have a natural rub. I mean, right here, you can't get to Westbrook because you got to go through Owens to get to him.
Westbrook's first receiving touchdown this season. The 3rd thrown by McNabb today. One to Lewis, one to Owens, and now Brian Westbrook. The Eagles with a pair of second-half touchdowns. They now lead the Redskins 21-6. Eagles leading by 15 points. Today's game being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. We want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 1st Armored Division stationed in Wiesbaden, Germany. 1st Armored Division has just returned from Iraq.
I'm glad they can get home for the holiday. We're thankful for everything they've done over there. Wiesbaden, just outside of Frankfurt.
Where you've spent many summers over working NFL Europe games.
Yeah, a lot of these players playing here today over there.
A couple of penalty markers on the return of 25 yards.
He's got 7 guys on the roster that have played in NFL Europe.
During the return, holding number 48, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down, Washington, timeout.
All smiles on the Eagles sideline. Terrell Owens playing catch with Coy Detmer.
Not getting enough action today. trying to keep it going on the sidelines. He doesn't throw the ball very good. There's many passes as he catches. His arm, I think, needs a little bit of work. It's kind of a short motion.
Threw that last one a bit high.
Yeah.
Redskins start from their own 23-yard line. Ramsey over the middle to Liddell Betts. And he's tackled by Keith Adams at the 27. Well, Brian, you told us earlier T.O. does not play fantasy football. How about you?
No, I'm not a fantasy player. You know, but there's a lot of different scoring systems out there. T.O. said that he's happy that people want him on his team. He's trying to get him as many points as he can. One of the leaders in the league through 9.5 weeks in the season, 9 weeks in the season.
2nd and 5. Ramsey gets rid of it, throws it out of bounds. Well, here's how it works. Here's one formula for fantasy football.
Yeah, you catch a touchdown, run for a touchdown, throw a touchdown. You know, it's 6 points. Every 50 yards of passing for the quarterback is a point. Every 20 yards of rushing and receiving yards for a back receiver is a point. And then, you know, they penalize the turnovers. He looks like a fantasy league player. Now, he probably owns a few teams. Those are the kind of guys that are general managers, the guys that wear those kind of hats.
3rd down and 5. Ramsey complete to Betts. So in essence, you have fans not only rooting for teams these days in the NFL, but for individual players on other teams.
Well, I think with free agency, Kenny, you know, it's been in really almost since Joe Gibbs left the game, that fans start cheering for players, start following players from team to team. So here's an example.
3 of you who might be watching who are not in a fantasy football league.
Yeah, you know, most people are in more than one league, too. We're looking at that stat page on Monday morning more closely than the coaches are.
It's hard to get a lot of work done in offices around the country on Monday mornings.
I think there's coaches that are in fantasy league teams. 4th down here. 4th and inches.
Ramsey, forced back.
He just got blown up. I know Trotter was getting in the middle of that. And for the 2nd week in a row, the Eagles' defense, run defense, has been outstanding.
Jamal Green playing in only his 2nd game in there as well.
And Trotter is still pumped up. Watch Trotter come to Phil right here. Boom. That was Trotter that got the hit over the top. Perfectly timed. But it's a crazy play in this game. That's hat to hat, clearly, hat to hat. Never call that. Never penalize that type of penalty, that type of hit over the top. It's an inconsistency in the rule. That was Trotter. Trotter saved that quarterback sneak.
Trotter, who was called by Joe Gibbs, who told him, "We're going to let you go." Back with the Eagles And they're thrilled about it.
Trotter right here has not stopped celebrating since that hit. He's the energy and emotional leader, not of this defense, but of the team. And he said he's just so happy to be back in there. I mean, he was a guy that went to Washington with a big free agent contract, went out on bad terms with Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagle organization, goes down there and on Thanksgiving 2 years ago, blows out his knee against Dallas. His knee is so bad last year in Washington that he's talking about retirement and threatening retirement. But Andy Reid called him up and said, hang in there, kid, after the injury, and Jeremiah Trotter never forgot that.
Pass caught by Pinkston down at the 14-yard line. And then Trotter, after he was let go by Gibbs and the Redskins, called Andy Reid's cell phone. No calls got through to Andy all day. He was on a fishing trip in Utah. The only call that got through, did not go right to voicemail, was from Trotter.
Yeah. And so Trotter, who's been humbled, he had to come back here. He begged his way back in. Andy said, you know, I hate letting any of these guys go. Hugh Douglas and Drew Staley, I hate seeing these guys go. But they all want to come back when they go to someplace else. And for Trotter, it's been humbling. He's come back through playing on special teams, and now he's back in there, and they're not going to get him back out.
Over the top, Westbrook into the end zone. His second touchdown of this fourth quarter.
Third touchdown pass for McNabb today. Fourth touchdown pass for McNabb today. Don't want to get that wrong for any fantasy players out there. 5 receivers in the route right here. Just a little shake right here in the middle against Antonio Pierce. Nice little head and shoulder fake.
It's the 4th time this season McNabb has thrown 4 touchdown passes in a game. Did it against the Giants, the Browns, and the Cowboys on Monday night.
Very difficult guy to cover in the open field. Matchup headache for any defense.
The Eagles led at the half 7-6. They've scored 3 second-half touchdowns. It's now 28-6 Philadelphia. Odell Betts on the return for the Redskins. There is a flag as Betts took the return 27 yards out to the 30.
During the return, holding number 35, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So another Redskins penalty as we check in with Don Tollefson.
Hey, I'll tell you, Andy Reid at halftime was right on target. He said they got to stop the penalties. Hey, guys, 7 in the first half, none in the second half. He also talked about how tough Donovan McNabb is. After those 2 huge hits in the first half, Donovan wanted to talk about play adjustments. Boy, have they made adjustments as you set up in the booth during the second half, fellas.
All right, thanks, Don. Redskins start from the 20. Ramsey in trouble. Down he goes. Javon Curse, and the crowd chants freak, and that's spelled with a P-H. P-H-R-E-A-K here in Philadelphia.
Well, I think when you're the freak, you can spell it any way you want. Really, the Eagles haven't made too many wrong moves here as an organization under Andy Reid, and you can point to the Redskins. I'll let the song play. I mean, since Donovan McNabb took over quarterback in 1999, when the Redskins, all they've done is change quarterbacks. They can't find a guy.
They've used 10 since McNabb took over here in Philadelphia.
Well, Joe Gibbs said that, look, the Eagles are the premier organization in football. It starts with continuity. The coaching staff, the scouts, the nucleus of players that they have, you know, their system of who to bring in. There's some of the quarterbacks. A lot of Redskins fans probably don't want to take a look at that list for too long. Not too much success with any of them.
3rd down and 7.
Then today, they didn't let Patrick Ramsey do anything with the football as well.
Incomplete, intended for Betts. And Brian, to put things in perspective, The Redskins had first and goal on the Eagles' 10.
Yep.
Earlier in this fourth quarter, they trailed by only 8. 7.5 minutes later, 28-6.
Right. Well, it's just an inefficient group right now. And it's tough. It's tough. Westbrook played his butt off out there today. Got a defensive pass interference that went against him. Clinton Portis, not a big part of the offense. They shut down the running game today. And the passing game is a horizontal passing game. It isn't meant to stretch defense or attack a defense.
Big return. Penalty flag. Lito Shepard taking it inside.
They're going to
the Redskins 20.
Yeah, they're going to call Ike Reese for a hold downfield, and he isn't happy about the call. Lito Shepard is pretty good back with the ball in his hands. He took that one back on Monday night, 101 yards.
During the return, holding number 58, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Philadelphia.
One of the few mistakes, well, probably the first penalty here in the second half for the Eagles. Here it is right here. I guess he's got a hold of Ryan Clark there.
So that nullifies at least part of the 57-yard return by Shepard.
Shepard was a big-time punt returner at Florida. When they drafted him, they thought, you know, he has that capability. You have a lot of guys with that capability. That's an eagle on top of there? Yeah, you got some wings flapping here in the stands.
Coy Detmer now in at quarterback for the Eagles. Jeff Blake saw some action in relief on Monday night, his first ever appearance in a Monday night game. So now Coy Detmer getting an opportunity.
What Donovan McNabb standing next to Andy Reid there? He said that he's Andy's mini-me. That anything that goes wrong, any controversy that goes wrong, he has to go out there and he has to face the press. And he said he tries to outbore the press more than Andy. Andy's boring the press. He gives them nothing. He tries to say less than Andy. There's a competition they have going on amongst them.
Donovan with 4 touchdown passes today. As Detmer hands it off, Thomas Tepay, rookie out of the University of Minnesota, 5th-round draft pick, his 4th carry of the season, and he picks up an Eagles first down.
And looking down there in that offensive line who's played good today. You know, they've had some injuries too now. Lost Sean Andrews to start the season, who had a great deal of promise. You know, right now, Jermaine Mayberry is out. You got Alonzo Ephraim in at guard and Steve Shula in there.
Billy McMullen in at wide receiver, number 80.
See those guys inside there? Shulo, Fraley, Ephraim, all free agents. One of those guys drafted.
From the 36 to pay again. And he's tackled by Ronaldo Wynn. Eagles have scored touchdowns on their last 3 possessions. Westbrook with a pair of touchdowns today. Owens, only 2 receptions for 24 yards, but he reached the end zone for the 13th time this season. And a terrific job by our entire crew, led by producer Pete Macheska, director Mike Frank, the associate director Barry Landis, broadcast associate Darren Foster, technical producer Dan Rotante, studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, the associate director Stephanie Medina, the senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers Ed Gorin and David Hill. Penalty marker as Tepay is taken down out of bounds. Thanks to our statistical crew. Eric Merlis, Ben Bulmer, Rick Camps.
Still second down.
And Robbie Ince-Mikowski. Now we would also like to send our best to the family of Randy Carr, one of our videotape operators. His father Donald passed away earlier this week, so our best wishes go out to the entire Carr family.
Good team effort here by the Eagles. Come out here in the second half and take control defensively. That group right there, Hollis Thomas and Hugh Douglas, all getting in there. Then offensively, you know, taking advantage of the weapons. T.O. getting involved in the second half. Westbrook, who looked good from the beginning today. Looked like he got his burst back. And Andy said that he had a hard time staying on his feet, just getting back in the flow against Dallas. He looks like he's back right now, and they need him as an explosive player in this offense.
Pay up the middle down to the 43.
Culpepper, that guy right there, McNabb, having his best season by far. Some really outstanding play this year from that position.
Denver's first pass attempt of the season, and a diving attempt by Greg Lewis. Sean Springs on the coverage. Well, the Eagles will travel up the Turnpike next weekend, take on Eli Manning and the New York Giants, and things do not get any easier for the Washington Redskins, Brian, as they must go back on the road next weekend to face the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, Joe Gibbs said that we're going to be underdogs the rest of the season, and heavy underdogs, like he has never seen before during his coaching tenure in Washington.
Redskins hung in there today. They trailed 7-6 in the third quarter. But the Eagles with touchdowns on 3 straight possessions, and Greg Lewis, the intended receiver on that last pass, gets downfield on the punt to down it at the 1.
That's one of those free agents. Jason Short, he's taking on everybody. He's taking on Walt Anderson, the referee. He's taking on all the players. He lost his mouthpiece. Andy Reid said that is the toughest player he's ever coached. He said his own teammates are afraid of him.
His nickname is Full Throttle.
Yeah, well, he gets full throttle right here by Mike Sellers. He can't get off of him. So he's frustrated. Now he's got to go hit somebody, come back at somebody. Against Cincinnati or against Cleveland, he had almost his entire mouth bleeding, knocked out, eyes rolling in the back of his head, and he was still yelling at people. And Andy Reid's giving him the look that usually Jason Short gives everybody else.
You could read Andy's lips. He said, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, get off the field.
How about that look on Jason Short's face? Pass complete to McCants. Remember what else Andy told us about Jason Short? He plays chess.
Not with that look, he doesn't.
You never know.
He ain't making any right moves with that look. What is that?
Eagles will go to 9-1 with the victory today. Look at their upcoming schedule.
Well, they play the third division opponent in a row now. Dallas, Washington, and then Giants at New York, which is always a good test, division opponent. But I think Green Bay is going to give them their best test here since Pittsburgh. I mean, Green Bay's offense is clicking. Jason Short, I think, has cooled himself off a little bit.
Finally.
Yeah, you know, he got the water bottle, he squirted himself down, took the fire out of his nostrils. Trotter's had a heck of a day. Heck of a week, really. Monday night and then today. He brings a good attitude to that defense.
Pass is intercepted by Ike Reese after it deflected away from Rock Cartwright. And for Reese, who made only his 5th career start today, it's his 2nd interception this season.
I think what it shows you is great depth by the Eagles, because that's Ike Reese, a special team player and a nickelback, and today, because of injuries to Semino and Keith Adams, he got the start.
He was not letting that football get away.
No. That's just frustration here by the Redskins. You know, this has been their offense all day. It's not even a dink and dunk offense, because a dunk implies that the ball went down the field. Most of the balls went sidelines, went horizontal today. Chris Samuels.
Mike Reese did not have an interception his first 6 seasons. He has 2 this year. And now the Eagles will run out the clock with under 2 minutes remaining. The numbers on McNabb today: 18 of 26, 222 yards, and 4 touchdowns, matching his career high.
Got started early with the touchdown to Chad Lewis. Perfectly thrown ball down there in a fake. Got Owens involved in the offense. The second half, beat Sean Springs one-on-one. Nice throw and touch there. Now you get Westbrook in a couple of touchdowns. One-on-one with the linebackers, and there's just not many guys in this league from that position that can stay with him. And a whole bunch of chest bumping going on.
In a game in which Owens caught only 2 passes, Todd Pinkston went over 100 yards receiving. 5 catches, 106 yards, 27 fantasy points for McNabb.
I think that's a good day. You know, in our league, the way we score, you got 6 points for each touchdown pass. You got a point for his rushing. You got 3 points for his pass, 4 points for his passing. Then you got to decline 2 points for the interception. But, you know, a day without T.O., you know, the other guys picked it up here. Westbrook, Pinkston, and McNabb has been saying all along, if they take one guy away, they can't stop this offense. Because really, the best part of this offense, if you play man or zone or combination, these plays work against every defense.
So the Eagles will win their 6th in a row against the Redskins. 9-1 this season. This their 19th win in their last 21 regular season games. While Joe Gibbs' Redskins dropped to 3-7. The Eagles now 9-1. So the final score, the Eagles 28, the Redskins 6. For Brian Baldinger, this is Kenny Albert saying so long from Philadelphia. Now to